I did 180 subtract 180 subtract 34 equal 146 and subtract 111. So that will equal 35. So this spot over here equals 35.
In the triangle, the measure of two of the angles is 35 degrees and 65 degrees. Find the measure of the third angle. What I did was I added 65 plus 35, which equals 100 degrees, and then I subtracted 180, which is a full total for a triangle. Then I subtracted 180 and 100, which equals 80 degrees. And that's how I got my answer.
So the problem is for isosceles triangle cap the Smith Tower in Seattle, if one of the base angles measures 65 degrees, what are the measures of the other two angles? So we know that a triangle is 180 degrees. So and we know two of the angles are 65. So we do 65 plus 65, which we get 130, and then we do 130 minus 180, which gives us 50, which gives us our missing angle.
So I did 3.14 times 25 because 5 times 5 is 25, and I got 78 and 50 hundredths, and then I did 3.14 times 64 because 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 times 8 is 64. And I got 296 hundredths. And 296 hundredths minus 78 and 50 hundredths is 122 and 46 hundredths.
So why'd you subtract the two numbers?
Because to find the area
Of the shaded
shaded part, you have to subtract.
Okay, good. Did you find circumference?
Yeah.
So you can see how this is a supplementary angle, and this side has to equal 180 right here, and then this side has to equal 180, and it does, because 60 plus 120 equals 80 on both sides.
And what do you know about vertical angles being congruent? Can you point to vertical angles for me?
Here,
The 60 and the
120.
the 60 and the one across from it.
Yeah.
So 60 and the 60. Those are vertical angles.
Okay.
Good.
To get the area, I multiplied the base times the height, which is 145 times 45, and that I got 6,525 millimeters squared. To get the perimeter, I added up all the sides, which is 53 plus 53 plus 145 plus 145, which made me get 390 millimeters.
So part A of the circle is the radius, part B is the diameter, part C is the circumference, which is the dotted line outside. D is the shaded area is the area, and you would get that to measure pi times radius squared. And if the diameter of a circle was 17 inches, the radius of the circle would be 8.5. So it's like half of, If the radius of a circle is 16 feet, the diameter would be 32. The relationship between the diameter of the circle and the radius is half of the diameter always. Yeah.
So what I did, so here's my problem, which is it's right here, and I have to find the area of the shaded region. So what I first did is I timed both of the sides and got 128, which is the perimeter for that. So one step is done. Then next I had to find the area of each circle, and I divide each circle. So my problem is this, which is 32 times 32 with 16 circles inside of it. So first I did this 32 times 32 and got 1024, and then that's the area for the whole square. Then I did minus it by each triangle, just 16 each. So first I did, since I know that there's 32 on each side, it has to be 8 so it can evenly divide it up. And this radius of that is 4. So times 4 times 4 is 16. Times 16 by pi, and I got 50.24. Then I times that by itself by 4 times to get 200, and I times that by 4, get 870.84.
And that gives you the area of all the circles?
Yeah, area of all the circles. Then I minus it by the area of the triangle, area of the square, and got 216.16.
Good. So that's the area of the shaded region?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you get for the perimeter of this figure?
Perimeter is times length times width, and I got 128.
You did length times with or length plus?
Length times. Length plus.
Plus, right. So added each of the sides.
Yes.
Nice job.
Okay, so we're going to work on this one. So when you see a straight line, it equals 180 degrees. So it's asking you what the missing angle is. So you subtract 180 from 105 because that's the answers you have, and you get 75 for your missing number. And for this one, when you see an angle like this with a square, that means at 90 degrees. So and they give you 71, so you subtract 90 from 71. That's 19 for the missing angle.
This is, the right angle is 90 degrees, and this part is 37. So, you just subtract them to find out this one, and 9, so you take away 1 from the 9, which is 8, 10. 10 minus 7 is 3, and 8 minus 3 is 5, so it's 53. X equals 53.
The problem is to find the circumference and area of the shaded region. To find the area of the circle, I did the radius, which is 12.5 squared times 3.14,
How did you know that the radius was 12.5?
because 25 is the diameter, and 25 divided by 2 is 12.5.
Okay. And the
Then
area of the circle was what?
490 and 625
Thousands.
thousandths squared centimeters.
Uh-huh.
And then I found the area of the triangle. So I did 15 times 20, which is 300. And then 300 divided by 2, which is 150. And then I subtracted 490 and 625 thousandths minus 150, and I got 340 and 625 thousandths. Then for the circumference, I did
Diameter.
25, which is the diameter, times 3.14, and I got 78.5.
This one is a vertical. This is vertical. So, but this line right here is 180 degrees, and since this angle right here is 35 degrees, then you would do that again. You'd do 180 minus 35, and you'd get 145. So 145 is this angle, and then you'd add them together. And since this one is the same, looks the same as this one, and it's right across from each other, this one's 145 and this one's 35.